Elisya, can you go upstairs first? We have some things to do here. We'll catch you up soon.
Okay, Mommy, just don't be late.
No worries, sweetie.
Take care, daughter.
See you soon, Daddy.
Until this point, she was only excited about the hotel, having no idea what would happen there. From now on, things got totally changed. When she reached the counter, only silence came to greet her. She had nothing to do, but only sneaked into the counter to get the key. When she opened the door, there was a hall came out. And then the room. To another room. Again and again. When she entered the fifth room, she felt something wrong and tried to go back to the elevator, but she realized it was already too late. Somehow, the exit was already locked. The only thing she could do was to move on. In one room, she had to find a lever to move on. In the other room, it was full of darkness. But sometimes she could find a treasure there. In room 13, she encountered the first entity. Its name was Eyes. When she looked at it, it took her vitality. As the light flicked, the other entity, Rush, came out. By hiding in a closet, she could survive Rush. Entity Rush made the way it came through, all dark. Sometimes Timothy suddenly came out from a drawer. Or Jack popped up from a closet to give a fright. Screech made her suffer in dark places. She was so frightened, she couldn't believe such a thing was actually happening to her. This poor little girl started to miss her family so badly. She wished this was all a dream and to go back to normal. But the cold reality didn't let her go. She could only move on and run away from the entity. When she reached room 32, she could find those creepy eyes staring at her from all over the walls and painting. It was a sign that the powerful entity, Seek, was coming for her. A very big deal was about to happen. The body of ashes, deadly eye, a figure as if it just came out of hell. She had no idea what it is, but she knew she had to run. If once she slipped, only death awaits her. A single mistake was not allowed. She had to crouch to go through, found the right door to escape, and avoided the fire and deadly hand. She was able to catch her breath for a while, only after she had left sea. But that was only the beginning of the difficulties she was supposed to go through. Another big deal, the entity figure, was waiting for her. There was a horrible shriek from the next room, which made her frightened. She had to make up her mind to face the horrible monster. She hesitated right at the door for a moment, but it was something she had to do anyway. And now, the die is cast. Figure had no eyes to see, but its hearing was very sensitive to even catch the sound of breath. In this place, she had to sneak and crawl to me. She must have collected the books to get the clues to open the lock to the next room. Every moment was literally tense. Figure was moving all around to catch her. It's never been easy, but one by one, she was collecting all the books. By looking at the order of the shapes on the paper, she was able to get the answer to the password. The moment she made a single little noise, Figure never happened to miss the sound. She could distract Figure by hiding in a closet, but she had to control her breath until it goes away. And then finally, she succeeded to escape the Figure's room. In the next room, she could find the Jeff shop, a place she could relax for a moment. She could buy useful tools there, and giving tips made Jeff smile. Unlike the other rooms before, this place felt like home, as if there are her friends here. She felt safe, relaxed, and lucky here, like she found an oasis in the desert. She wasn't supposed to touch Jeff's radio, but she was a naughty little girl who likes to do silly things. Mr. Bob seemed sleeping. Goblin Friend was talkative. It was fun talking with him, though nothing he said seemed helpful. It was the time to say goodbye to them to get moving on. Feeling the cold air, she gets too aware of the reality. She's on her own to get survived. When she went to the brewery, she noticed there was a soft music sound coming behind the wall. So she stepped the way back she went through. And boom, there was a path in the wall. She could reach the secret place with a different door. She unlocked the door and decided to go in, because it might be the way out. A000. The unknown place was going to show up. The name of the secret place was The Rooms. It was much brighter than other places. Also, she could get a new cool flashlight. This place looked like office rooms in a company. There were cabinets, tables, computers, lounge rooms, and supply rooms. But still, she was actually frustrated because she expected to escape the hotel. She just had to do the same thing, to move on. Unlike previous places, this place was horrifyingly quiet. Plus, she could use cabinets as a hiding spot. It meant that she had to hide from something later. As she realized the fact she's not safe here, she started to feel anxious. As her anxiety was growing, the rooms got darker and darker. As expected, the entity finally showed up. It was similar to the previous one, Rush, but it looked more horrific and sounded more terrific than Rush. She decided to call it A60. Soon, as she stepped out of room A90, another entity popped up in her whole sight. It was the one that detects the movements of living things. So she had to stop moving, and even her eyes couldn't move around. This one was quite confusing for her. She started to call it A90. Around the room A120, she encountered the entity coming from the front. Its sound was quite quiet, but most creepy among all of the entities. When she thought it was gone already, it was actually coming back again. She chose to call it A120. A120 usually showed up with A90 at the same moment. It made it more sticky to avoid and hide from them. She kept running away. and hiding from the entities. The whole place got entirely dark. She kept running and running, and already was going through the 400th room. It was way too long to go, but it felt it was never gonna end. The thought that this won't end forever slowly made her mad. She didn't want to keep going on this endless path. She was getting out of energy and started to lose her mind. She was too young to go through such things. What she expected was to get out of the hotel, not getting stuck in another place. She was just gonna give up because she was tired. So tired. One time, she thought of hiding in a cabinet all the day and imagined some hero came to save her. But unfortunately, this was not a fairy tale. No one was going to save her, because the cold reality was awfully miserable. She missed her family, wished to see them, but she was never gonna able to meet her family again, unless she escaped this place. She was just moving on in a state that is about to lose herself, in a condition of unconsciousness. As losing consciousness slowly, her sight was getting blurry. Also, it was getting blurry for her tiredness. While running and running, she cried many times, wishing her family come to see her. Yet still only thing she could do was to make up her mind and go on. After a long moment, she reached A500. Entities were still chasing her. Quite a long moment later, she reached A600 and 700, 800, and then 900. At this point, she wasn't sure how much time had gone. Since she first entered this place, she was losing her sense of time, as well as her consciousness. Hours and hours had passed by, around the time she loses her sense of reality, stuck in the place full of darkness. Finally, the exit showed up, with the cool tablet left there. She couldn't believe she actually found the exit. It felt like she was being rewarded all the time suffering here. The tablet looked much cooler than the flashlight. She loved it. The tablet could be used as a night vision. Finally, she tried taking a step outside the door. Sound of rain, the smell of wood, white light. Things were back in place. Was it an illusion? Or was it just a bad dream? Whatever it was, the important thing is, she actually escaped the place. Although this place was still terrible, but it was much better than the previous one. This room was a special one. She could unlock the door using skeletal key. There were many golds in this small room, and this fragrant hub made her heart stronger than before. She felt her health starts to regain. Soon she had to face Seek again after escaping the rooms. Creepy eyes were giving her the sign it was coming. But she was not as scared as used to be, because she had been through a lot of big deals. Sick was not terrifying enough to make her shocked anymore. This cool tablet gave her the location of the hidden items. There were a lockpick and a key where the star marks were. Using the key she found thanks to the tablet, she could reach the hall where Seek was supposed to come out. It was the second time she encountered Seek. She was still in danger where her life is threatened, but taking skillful steps after passing by through the right doors, she could finally succeed to run away from Seek again. She was already strong enough to face Seek this time. Using the tablet as a night vision, she could go through the dark places. The battery of the tablet was permanent, so she didn't worry about it turning off. Oops, what the hell happened to her? All of a sudden, the place became strangely dark, and she could feel something chasing her behind. It was halt, which comes out rarely in a long haul. It came out from behind, and then popped up from the front soon. She kept moving back and forth to running away from it. When she reached the next door, finally it disappeared. She felt like coming back from death, though it was a blink of a moment. She had a hunch there were still many new threats in this hotel. One time, when she was in the long hall, she felt Rush was coming for her. But this time, she couldn't find any place to hide. She thought she could actually die this time. Oh, how lucky was she? The crucifix she was carrying protected her from Rush. The Jeff shop's items proved to be reliable. After the crucifix miraculously saved her life, she found an outdoor place. This place was a beautiful garden. The fresh air made her relaxed. Sound of rain felt good, unlike the usual here. The atmosphere here was literally peaceful on the surface. But as the fact is still dangerous here, she couldn't stay long. Next, plant rooms were continuously coming out. There was sound of heavy rain, tough thunder, and the one seemed to be a scream from hell. There was no light, only thunderlight sometimes lighted the way for the blink of an eye. Rush and Screech came out here more often than in the usual rooms, so it was hard to avoid them here. Plus, there were trap monsters named Snare, which is the sticky one. Since the place was too dark, it was really hard to find them on the floor. It made her hurt a little and stunned for a few seconds. If she steps on Snare when there is Rush coming up, there might be no way to survive. Although there were many dangerous moments threatened her life here, she was still alive, getting over all of them. And then finally, she reached the room 100, which could be the last one. Unlike the previous rooms, she could find iron structures there. This place seemed to be a generator room or atop of the building. In the end, she found an entrance, which seemed to be the way out. Oh God, this hotel wouldn't let her go until the end. Like as the time she met figure in the library, she crouched to move so that figure couldn't detect her. All she had to do was to find the fuses for generating the elevator and fixing the power. Then finally she could probably get on the elevator and say goodbye to the hotel. The last step remained until escaping this hotel. She was almost there. Thankfully, the tablet friend helped her find the last fuse. The fuses were all collected. The key to the generator room had been found. She opened the door and started working on fixing the power. It was an unexpected puzzle time. Full shapes meant turning on, empty shapes meant the opposite. Figure was coming up for her again, so the situation was urgent. But she stayed calm, because it could have been better than making a mistake in solving this puzzle. By a tiny gap, she could make it. She rushed to run, didn't even have a moment to look back. Finally, she had done the last step and felt her legs weak. She thought that everything is over and almost cried. It was literally an impressive moment. However, what a twist of fate. Hope turned into despair. All she wanted to do was to escape this place. But her wish didn't come true at all. Would she be all right? Or something really bad would have happened to her? Maybe we never know. Only God knows.
Mom,